Please subscribe my channel. I never corrected her belief that I was poor. She enjoyed the idea. A small-town guy with simple dreams, a thankful husband. I dressed in plain clothes, drove an older car, and listened more than I talked. At office parties, she introduced me with a sorry tone, as if I held back her success. I saw coworkers give polite smiles, then make quiet jokes when they thought I wasn't listening. They talked about raises, influence, wealth, and plans that clearly left me out. My wife laughed with them, only holding my hand when she had to. I told myself that waiting patiently was smart. I told myself that love meant staying humble. But each insult piled up inside me, waiting. That night's party felt different. There was a heavy feeling in the air, like the truth was about to come out without holding back. Her coworkers stood around in fancy suits, drinking expensive cocktails, looking around the room like hunters. One person made a joke about my shoes. Another asked if I needed help finding work. Sharp laughter followed without care. My wife gave a forced smile, never standing up for me, never looking at me. He's just temporary, she had said once, waving her hand. Until things settled down for me. That word stuck with me. Temporary. Like I was just a short stage, not a real partner. I remembered their faces, their voices, their cocky attitudes. Years of staying quiet had taught me to watch closely. They thought being poor meant I was dumb. They thought being nice meant I was weak. I stood there calmly, letting them act out. The funny part amused me inside. This company was started by my grandfather, built by my father, and now my duty. None of them knew. None of them guessed. And that night they were celebrating in a building that, in the end, reported only to me. Everyone the CEO was planned. A thick silence filled the room. I felt my wife stand straighter next to me, nervous but excited to make a good impression. Footsteps came closer, then stopped. "I've been looking for you," a voice I knew well said. People gasped when he put a hand on my shoulder. "Sir," he went on loudly, "the board approved all your requests." Faces went pale right away. My wife stood frozen, her smile breaking with confusion. Someone dropped a glass. I looked into her eyes for the first time that night. She slowly realized, and it hurt. The man they had made fun of wasn't poor. He wasn't temporary. He was the top boss. The CEO turned to the crowd. "Let me introduce the grandson of our founder and our current chairman." The quiet turned into shock. Understanding spread fast, like wildfire. My wife stepped back as if I had hit her. "This isn't funny," she whispered. I stayed silent. I didn't have to say anything. The truth was there now where lies used to be. Her coworkers looked away from me. Suddenly polite. Suddenly scared. Sorry words came rushing out, awkward and frantic. I lifted my hand gently to stop them. "You were honest before," I said. "I value that." The CEO excused himself and left the room to me. I turned to my wife, calm and in control. "You called me temporary," I reminded her. "So I won't get in the way of your plans." Tears started in her eyes, but feeling sorry late doesn't erase what was done. Power isn't about getting even. It's about seeing clearly. I thanked everyone for their thoughts, told them to have a good time, and walked out. Behind me, jobs shook, and a marriage ended quietly without yelling. At home, she fell onto the sofa, pleading for forgiveness, answers, and kindness. I listened. Staying quiet can be a form of respect when it's earned. She admitted she felt ashamed, driven by her goals, afraid of looking weak. I nodded. "You were embarrassed by me," I said plainly. She couldn't argue anymore. I explained that I kept the truth hidden to see her true self, not to trick her. She didn't pass a test she didn't know was there. That wasn't mean. That was just life. Real love doesn't put someone down. Being partners doesn't mean one has to feel better than the other. I packed a suitcase slowly. She followed me around, swearing to change, to be open, to stay loyal. I believe she meant it in that moment. But wanting to isn't enough. Trust doesn't come back just because things change. I left her with comfort, money, and respect. What she lost wasn't cash. It was my respect for her. And that kind of loss doesn't go away, no matter how much someone begs later. On Monday morning, Things changed at the company. Planned promotions stopped. Performance checks started over. How people acted suddenly counted. I didn't fire anyone on a whim. I fixed the company culture. Pride disappears fast when real responsibility shows up. My wife quit before lunch. She couldn't handle facing everyone. I truly wished her the best. Getting revenge wasn't what I wanted. Getting things right was. I went back to my office with a view over the city my family had helped create. Money means little without honesty behind it. I thought about staying quiet. How risky it can be when others mistake it for not knowing anything. People show their real selves when they feel safe from consequences. That lesson is worth everything. I didn't feel like I won. I felt steady. The pretending was over. My life got simpler. Leading isn't about telling people your title. It's about letting the truth speak for itself. And the truth had done its job perfectly, without ever getting loud, turning places of easy laughs into places of hard lessons. She thought being poor was who I was. They thought their positions kept them safe. Both were mistaken. The night they mocked my short-term place in her life stayed in their minds forever, not because of shame, but because of what it revealed. I learned that respect given only under certain conditions isn't real respect. I learned that love without true commitment is just convenience dressed up as feeling. Leaving cost me the marriage, but it protected who I am. I don't regret staying quiet. It showed me all I needed to see. Power shouted out makes enemies. Power used quietly brings understanding. When people finally see who you really are, it should come from how you act, not from what you say out loud. I never told my wife I owned the company. I let her reveal her true character instead. And once that truth came out, it needed no anger, no payback. Just space, respect, and a new path forward without regrets.